Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
This guy did it all. He was a lead or character actor in many TV shows and movies. Robert Vaughn was the disabled drunken war vet in the Young Philadelphians, for which he earned an Oscar and a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor. He was a gunman in The Magnificent Seven and was the lead or guest star in more than 200 television shows. Bob was best known for playing spy Napoleon Solo in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The show was so popular that he received more than 70,000 fan letters a month. He had to put up an electric fence around his house to keep out the frantic young females.
Robert Vaughn is on the air with us, and before we get started, Bob, I have to ask you, this program was so popular, 1964 to 1968, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go back there for just a minute and find out how that program got on the air.
Well, I was doing a television series at MGM called The Lieutenant about the Marine Corps with Gary Lockwood playing the lieutenant, who subsequently married the girl from U.N.C.L.E, Stephanie Powers. That's a little bit of trivia there for you.
I guess.
And the man that was producing the lieutenant was named Norman Felton, who had a production company at MGM. They did Dr. Kildare, 11th Hour, Lieutenant, and so on. And he was good friends with Ian Fleming. And he and Fleming had an idea that they wanted to do a television version of James Bond, and that was the nucleus for the Napoleon Solo Man from U.N.C.L.E. series.
Now, you got together a couple of years ago, 1983, reunited with David McCallum for a made-for-television movie, The Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Do you think there will be any more reunions like that?
No, that's the only one we're going to be doing.
That's it, huh?
Right.
Anything you can remember about that program that kind of sticks in your mind, working with it over all those years?
Well, I don't know what you mean. I remember.
Well,
I remember everything about it.
Is there any one experience that you remember while doing the Man from U.N.C.L.E. show?
Well, I don't think there were any experiences as much as the overall effect that the film seemed to have on the public.
That's right.
The television series was the first of its kind in the spy genre, and it was obviously a complete duplication of James Bond format, and as a result, the young people of the country reacted to the characters that David and I played, whether like they react to rock stars today in terms of airport chaos and people climbing over walls to get into your home and so on.
Where did you film it?
At MGM in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. You have done a lot of Washington-type films. In fact, you started out with a film called Toby Goes to Washington. You were 11 years old. And
that was a tent show in Iowa.
Of course, you played 4 presidents.
Right.
You played in Washington Behind Closed Doors, the miniseries. Won an Emmy for that from Ehrlichman's novel, The Company. That was in 1977.
Right.
Are you going to run for office someday?
Oh, God.
Why all the interest in those political roles?
Well, it wasn't my interest in them. They just came to me with the offers, and it was a job, and I took them.
Out of all the stars you worked with, is there any one that you really enjoyed working with?
I worked with Steve McQueen on 3 different occasions, The Magnificent Seven and Bullet and The Towering Inferno, and I knew Steve virtually all of my life in Los Angeles, and I liked him very much. I thought he was a swell fellow, and always look forward to seeing him and working with him.
Did you spend a lot of time in Europe? I know you did some filming there, but...
Well, from 1968 until mid-70s, I lived pretty much basically in Europe. I was based in London, and I worked there and did a series in London for Lou Grade, and I did about 10 motion pictures outside of America during that 7 or 8 year period.
With all the things that have been going on in the world, do you have any fear of flying over there now?
No, I just got back from Israel, as a matter of fact, doing a film called Delta Force there with Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin, and El Al is the safest airline in the world to fly. I don't know if you don't get bombed in an airport.
Gee, how was the tension over there? Did you feel any of it?
Not really.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. My son is going to London in July, and we've been, really concerned about it. But I guess, like you say, if you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, it's that's obviously the main problem, and it's like when we hear about fires and storms on the West Coast and then the opposite is when I'm there, when they're going on, I don't even notice that they're going on, but I hear about them on the East Coast as though they're going to rip off the side of the continent.
Yeah. Well, a pleasure talking with you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bob Berry.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Vaughn.